Don't overthink it, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daddy on me. Daddy on 3, 1, 2, 3.
What is good, YouTube, man? How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Thursday. For me, it ain't no better day than when the Raiders win. I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care what time of the year it is. If the Raiders win, it is a fantastic day. And guess what? New head coach. We are going to hear him for the first time after winning in the Hall of Fame game, after playing in the stadium that he grew up at. This is a dope time. So we're waiting for the press conference to pull up. We will be listening to it live here as well. You guys will all get to hear it with me, and we will all get to react to it just the same. So this is very exciting, you guys. And shout out to everybody who's already in here, just jumping off after the game. This is fun. Shout out to everybody we got up in here already. We got Jay Raider, Rob Aguirre was good. My guy SVT, Carlos Dangerfield, Anthony Estrada was good. Who else? We got Rock, Frazier, Steven was popping. EXO. Who else we got up in here? But listen, you guys, off of a nice dub. This was a good one. Raiders C-dub. You know, they tried to get their little pity points in at the end, get a little touchdown, get a little a 2-point conversion after. That wasn't happening when both teams were trying. So shout out to everybody. And in honor of Josh McDaniels, we had to throw on a visor, man. You know, everybody else in here, I hope you got a visor for the season, because we will see Josh McDaniels wear a lot of these. But I'm happy, bro. I will say this. I'm happy with both sides of the football. A few players underperformed, in my opinion, but it's just the first game. They're getting their feet back under them. This is real live reps for the first time. You know, we've had the pads come on recently, but it's not the same, right? These guys, you know, we've seen a couple guys go down with injuries. So this is the first time they're actually getting real reps. So exciting stuff nonetheless. Shout out to everybody in here, all the members. We got a lot of members in here right now. Shout out to you guys. If you do want to become a member of the channel, the link is in that chat right now. You get a bunch of perks to the channel. Shout out to Taz. We got Linnell Walker in here. We got my guy Raider Lux. Unknown Raider was good. But yeah, you guys, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. Like I said, we're waiting for the pressure to come on. You guys will hear it just like how I will hear it. It's going to be good. It was an exhibition, but still a good game on our part. Yeah, I believe we finished the game with just one penalty. And up now is the head coach.
From your football team's perspective, this time of year, first game, kind of an efficient performance. You're pretty happy about the lack of penalties, not the penalties, mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about trying not to beat ourselves, and we had the field was wet. The ball wasn't really that wet because it wasn't raining by the time we started the game, but it's been a big focus for us, trying to take care of the ball and trying to improve, in the whole penalty situation. So I thought we did decent until the fourth quarter, and then we kind of got a little sloppy. But for the most part, I thought we hung in there and did the right thing.
Especially in that first half, what was the thought process behind that?
Was everybody ready to go? And we made the decisions we thought were the right decisions for our team, and some based on depth, some based on just wanting to get guys opportunities to get in there. And I always think it's good for backs to carry the ball in the preseason. There's a lot of things that happen when you're getting tackled and hit that you can't simulate in practice. So I think all our guys had the ball tonight. All our guys either caught it or were handed the ball and had to get, tackled. And, we can't really simulate that or rep that in practice.
Josh, you haven't seen the film, but from field level, what was your biggest positive observation you saw tonight?
I thought we played with some good tempo and rhythm in the first half. I thought we were trying to get in and out of the huddle. I thought we stayed ahead of the down and distance for the most part offensively. Thought we got off the field on third down early in the game, especially. And generally, I really liked our attitude from the group. They were into it. They gave great effort. The guys that weren't in the game, they were paying attention on the sideline to all the situations that were coming up. So, again, plenty of things that we did wrong that we'll be able to correct tomorrow on the film. But I like the way we approached the game.
I assume that was the sideline that your dad would walk on as the home.
It was.
Just kind of putting that, in perspective for you. How was that?
Yeah, it was a unique opportunity. Very grateful that I had it. It's the first time I've been in this Hall of Fame game in 22 years. So to have an opportunity to do that with him here and my family and plenty of people that, helped me along the way. I think it was a special night for them. And, you never know if you'll get this opportunity again. So I really, savored it. And it was a good opportunity for all of us. And I think we all enjoyed it.
The backs as a whole, obviously all did good things, but Zamir White specifically in his debut was running really hard. Was one of your leaders out there. What do you like most about his game?
Yeah, he did that in Georgia. He ran hard with the ball in his hands, and it's tough to tackle. He finishes runs the right way. Brings a physical element to the game and the team. It was a good opportunity for him to get in there and do that at our level. And played in the kicking game some. Like I said, there's going to be some things we have to tweak and clean up. But I thought for him to get out there and establish that's the style of runner he was at Georgia, and then to see him do it here was good.
Just being here with your dad, and how much did you learn from the experience of playing for your father here at the stadium?
Yeah.
What you've been able to incorporate into your career?
Most of the way I try to do things, relative to my demeanor, personality, how I try to talk to the team or handle them, comes directly from him. I mean, I started seeing that when I was, 4 or 5 years old, and he would handle adversity, with poise and grace, and then, when he won, he did that the right way, and he was here for a long time doing it, and I got to sit here for 15, 16 years and, on the sideline beside him when he's coaching the game and calling the game and trying to make adjustments and dealing with winning and losing and all the things that come along with football. So, I probably learned more watching that experience than I have in any school classroom or any grade level that I took, because you learn so much about life and how to be a teammate. He was a great teacher.
From a big picture standpoint, how are things progressing, with your changes on offense with the team, just taking over the culture of the Raiders?
Yeah, I think the people are great. We inherited a lot of great people. I was really fortunate to have the opportunity to come here and really see a great group of people that want to win and do it the right way. And then we've brought some new people in, and they're working really hard to try to be really great in their own area of expertise. And, and we're just trying to have a good day and follow it up with another good day. And like I said, I thought we came here with the right mentality, the right approach for this opportunity, which we're going to take each opportunity in the preseason to do that. We're grateful that we have 4. I know maybe that somebody else won't like that, but I'm really happy that we have 4 opportunities to do this. There's definitely some things that we noticed during the game flow and operation that we can do better and fix, and we'll focus on that this week.
Is that he likes to watch film of Tom Brady running your offense. From that film experience of watching Tom run your offense.
I think Derek knows, all the quarterbacks do. They kind of know, or they're learning the why, when they see something, and so they might have seen something on tape or watched some game footage or situational stuff. And then unless you really understand the coaching points that, we've been teaching and been using for years, sometimes you don't quite have the whole picture. And now I think really the quarterback group as a whole is trying to really grasp and understand the whole picture and the why behind each call and what we ask them to do. We put a lot on their shoulders, and I think he's working really hard to really master it as best he can. And it's a process. He knows it. We all do. But I really like the way he approaches every day.
Along those lines, Jared's had a nice camp. He feels like he carried that over to tonight's game.
Yeah, I thought he got off to a decent start. We had a couple of times down there where we got stopped in the red zone early, which, those are, those can come back to haunt you, if you don't put those in. But
Sure.
I thought he made some good decisions, threw the ball away a couple of times when it wasn't there, escaped out of the pocket on the one touchdown run, generally operated the offense well. I thought Nick did the same thing. Some of them, they each had a little bit of duress that they had to deal with. And again, I'm happy that you get to do that in a preseason game because really you get the opportunity to see if they're going to make a good decision. And, they didn't turn it over tonight, which I was happy about that. And again, made some good plays.
Going into the third quarter, you only helped the Jags to about a field goal. What were some things off the top of your head that you really liked about the defense tonight?
I thought we played the run decent early in the game, forced them into some third down situations. We were able to get off the field. I thought we were aware of the sticks on third down and tried to, defend the sticks, what they needed to get. I thought our tackling, we'll have to see exactly about that, but I thought we tackled decent. I thought we were running to the ball and trying to, get to the ball carrier and break down and make some tackles, which again, in a preseason game is a great opportunity because you don't get to practice it. So we'll see if, there's plenty of things I'm sure we're going to fix and correct, but like I said, I like the way they ran to the ball and tackled tonight. Good to go.
All right. Well, that's that. We can now get into what we think about the game. Shout out to Josh McDaniels. 1 game, 1 win as a Las Vegas Raider. Ain't nothing better than that. But there's a few takeaways that I want to talk about. First things first, I want to get at the glaring thing, and that's what Brandon Parker brought to the table today. Now, interesting enough, for earlier on in the game,
if you can dream it,
them ads, boy. But earlier on in the game, right, a bit surprised to see that Alex Leatherwood was the starting right tackle. And with Alex Leatherwood being the starting right tackle, they ended up putting Brandon Parker to the left side, where Brandon Parker has played pretty okay in the past. But today, it just was not good. Brandon Parker definitely got handled by Trayvon Walker. Brandon Parker definitely let Arden Key get the best of him at times. So hopefully, with all of the practice that he's been getting and all the looks that he's been getting in camp, maybe he can look better in our next matchup at the right side. But bro, Parker did not look good, man. I'm telling you, rookies got the best of him. Vets like Arden Key got the best of him. Maybe on the opposite side at the right tackle spot, he can look better, but did not pan out in today's matchup. Now, I do want to talk about a few things because the offensive line as a whole did not look bad. There was a few players that missed assignments, missed blocks, and it made some negative plays, but the entire offensive line didn't look bad. In my opinion, the right side of the offensive line was actually pretty damn solid. We had Alex Leatherwood, we had Lester Cotton, and then at the center spot, we had Andre James, right? And for a few plays, we had Dylan Parham up there. So for me, I actually think that the right side of the offensive line played pretty solid. Now, of course, I am going to have to go back and look at the footage and make sure that what I'm saying is correct, right? I don't want to just talk without any facts. But fact of the matter is, Parker did not look too good on the left side. Leatherwood actually looked pretty damn solid on the right side. Now, another thing I want to mention is the quarterback play. Pretty interesting to see, in my opinion. As soon as we got Nick Mullins, I was pretty excited, right? Nick Mullins, to me, was the clear-cut number 2 quarterback. But once the pads came on in training camp, it seemed like Stidham decided he was going to turn it up a notch, and he really started making a name for himself. And today, in my opinion, he showed that. Pocket presence from Stidham was much better, in my opinion, than than Nick Mullins. The pocket presence that he possessed today was very, very good in my opinion. He stepped up in the pocket when the pocket collapsed. I liked how that went down by Stidham today. So Stidham looked pretty damn solid. Another thing is that our running back room, we knew our running back room was going to look good with Zamir White and Josh Jacobs and all these guys. In my opinion, I'm pretty surprised. That Kenyon Drake didn't look too good. I know he got shaken up a little bit, but I think all of our backs look good in my opinion. Besides Kenyon Drake, he kind of went down with a little injury, but Josh Jacobs, he was getting big run lanes to work with. Zeus looked phenomenal. Amir Abdullah looked great. Another guy that looked pretty good at the end was the guy that we just signed from the Jets. His name is escaping me right now, but he looked pretty good after 2 bad runs. He really turned it on. He got a touchdown. He got a few big runs. So that was very, very good. But shout out to my guy Mondo. This is something that I really, really wanted to get into, and that's the screen passes. In my opinion, I think in today's NFL, screens are very, very, very essential. And the reason why is because of how effective they are. In my opinion, when you don't have the strongest of offensive lines, screens is the next best thing in terms of trying to get a quote unquote running game going. When you can't get the running game going off the line of scrimmage, and when you can't force the guys up front to really get after it, your next best thing is to run screens. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hand immediately, put it in the hands of a playmaker. And with guys like Demarcus Robinson, Amir Abdullah, backs like Zeus, backs like Josh, getting the ball in these playmakers' hands, it's very, very important, especially when you don't have a good line up front. Now, the beauty with this is that our offensive line is continuing to improve while also implementing the screen game. And I thought it was very effective. Besides maybe one play where I think Josh Jacobs barely got back to the line of scrimmage, all of the screen plays were very effective. We got a lot of yards, and I was impressed. I liked where he called the screens. I liked that he wasn't conservative with how he called them, whether it was like a 3rd and long situation, then he called a screen. No, he called a screen on 1st down. He called screens on 2nd downs. And I like that. I really, really like that. Switching it up, giving the defense something to worry about. Of course, it is preseason, so we're not going to throw everything out there. But that was something to look at. Now, moving to the defensive side of the ball, I would have hoped for a little bit more reps from our 2 rookies on the defensive line. I really would have wanted Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell to kind of go out there and work as a tandem. I don't really recall seeing them too much out there together, but what I will say is that our defensive backs actually looked pretty damn good, right? Something that was chalked off or penciled in as a concern. In my opinion, I know it's just 2nd and 3rd team, a little bit of 4th team in there. It looked really good, in my opinion. The defense looked really good. The defensive backs continue to make a lot of plays on the ball. Bryce Cosby is a guy who really, really flashed, as well as Chris Jones, the defensive back that we signed. He got his hand on the ball a few times. Now, our pass rush did not get home as a group, but we had a couple players that were getting after it, right? Malcolm Kuntz, we have a film study on him on the channel. We know he can be disrupted, and he showed that tonight. Jerry Green was getting after it quite a bit tonight. I believe Myron Tagovailoa got a few pressures, but I do want to see a little bit more. Shout out to Kendall Vickers. He got out there. He got in on a sack, I believe. And our defensive front does need work. The first line of defense, which is the front 4, does need to get a little bit more active. The front 7 as a whole does, I would say, needs improvement, in my opinion. Really quick. Shout out to my guy Raider Lux, man. He says T Billy needs better hands. So really quick, actually, thank you for bringing this up, my guy. My guy right here, Raider Lux. This is something interesting, right? I don't want to judge too much, even on Brandon Parker, right? Brandon Parker had a bad game, but this is the first game back with live reps, and I know we whooped them, right? We whooped them. So we were hoping for everybody to have a good game. But there was a few guys that it's going to take some time to adjust. Now, if we see this again, Lux, by Brandon Parker, where in the next game he looks bad, and if we see the drop problems with T. Billy in the next game, then we can kind of start to criticize. But first game back with live reps, defenders are really trying to fully tackle you, take you to the ground. It's a little bit of an adjustment, with that. I definitely do think that T. Billy, he was getting open. That's one thing to look at, right? You can always get better in your catching. Now, I will say this. Do I think he needs to finish the play? Absolutely. Tyron Johnson needs to finish the play. But he got open, and he got open consistently. That's a good sign. Now, if by the second preseason game, the third preseason game, the fourth one, this man is still dropping passes, that's a big problem. This one right here, we know the lights were turned on for the first time, and he started to drop a few passes. Not too worried about that. Same with the guy like Brandon Parker. He did not look good at the left side. I'm hoping that maybe next game he gets a lot more reps on the right side, and maybe he can flash what he's been showing in camp. But as of today, with raw footage of our first game, Brandon Parker, I don't know what their plan is on the right side for him, but it does look like Leatherwood is doing a solid job. Now, I want to answer a few of your guys' question. Number 44, Edgar, is Bryce Cosby. They got a BS PI call on him. That was not a PI. He had a wonderful pass breakups. He had a few good tackles. I really, really like how Bryce Cosby played. He's a guy that can play free safety. He's a guy that can play strong safety. He's a guy that can come down into the box and play the slot cornerback role, which he did a lot today, and he looked pretty damn good. So number 44, that is Bryce Cosby. He is a UDFA signing out of Ball State. Now, a guy who we kind of all had high hopes for, much like Tyron Johnson, on the defensive side of the ball was, camp standout Darian Butler, and he looked pretty good. He had a few tackles, but there was, I think, one play where he definitely needed to make that tackle, which is fine. But I like to see these guys getting out there. Isaiah Polomal could have gotten an interception on the tip drill. That would have been very, very nice to see. It didn't happen, but it could. What I do like seeing at the end of the day, though, is all of our defensive backs, it seems like one of them was getting their hand on the football every drive. So once we get these first team guys in, and once these guys get their reps continuously, I think we'll see a ton, and I mean a ton, of more takeaways on this defense. So very, very excited to see that. I really enjoyed the play calling on the defensive side of the ball. I recall on third and four, which is pretty damn manageable for any NFL team. It was a very good play call by Patrick Graham. He dialed up an inside linebacker blitz. He came up the gut. What he ended up doing, everybody else was in man. Perfect coverage on the running back, good coverage on the back end. Boom. It was an ill-advised throw. 3 and out. Good. I love that kind of stuff. Sending pressure on third down, sending pressure on fourth down. I like that kind of stuff. I think that in today's league, you need more of an aggressive style defensive coordinator because you have a lot of really good quarterbacks in this league. Even the 18th best quarterback in this league is a damn good quarterback. So I like this kind of stuff. I like the way that we played today. Really, really enjoyed play calling on both sides with Patrick Graham. Really loved the play calling with Josh McDaniels. It seemed like we did run the ball a lot. We did do a lot of screens. But you'll understand, we took those shots downfield, and we took those shots with our second string and third string quarterback. We even took those shots with our fourth string quarterback. So there's definitely a sign of going out there trying to make that big play. We saw that happen, and we won the game at the end of the day. I know it's preseason, but I always want to see my guys win for sure. But let's see. Farley made me think Abram was in the game. Yeah, Matthias Farley looked very, very good out there. The first hit he got was a targeting penalty, and it was targeting. He hit him pretty damn hard in the helmet. So that was good. But then the next play was really good when he went out there clean, shoulder checked them right before he got to the first down marker. That was very, very good. And I like that. I like that a lot, man. I really, really do. But really quick, you guys, go ahead and ask questions and all that kind of stuff. I want to give a really quick recap before tomorrow. I come on with my guy Grav, maybe some other people as well, as we give our recap for the game. Facts. Raider Rob. That win is for Cliff Branch. Shout out to Cliff Branch and Reacher Seymour, both Raiders going into the Hall of Fame. We noticed Seymour was he was a Patriot first, but he did finish his career with us. So shout out to him. What time? 7 p.m. West Coast. So 9 if you're like Central and 10 East Coast. But yes, you need delays and screens to keep the D honest. Of course. Of course. I hope Cole is good, bro. He got cracked. Yeah. But Keelan Cole is good. He got back up on his own will. It did look pretty damn scary. That was a horrible, horrible hit. Now, the thing is with Keelan Cole, it'll probably go with concussion protocol. So hopefully he can pass concussion protocol and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, we have a pretty deep wide receiver room. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. Special teams is going to be sick. I like the special teams. What do you think about Illuminor? I thought Illuminor played a great game at the right tackle spot. Shout out to my guy, Raider Scout. We were just talking about this on air on Graph's channel. I think that now, with how well Illuminor played in game, I think that he could possibly also get into that conversation of right tackle. Illuminor played a lot of right tackle for New England when he was in New England. Coming to the Raiders this last year, he played right tackle, right guard. Now he's back with his former offensive coordinator. He's back with his offensive line coach as well. So that was a very, very good display by Illuminor. I thought it was a good job. Very, very good protection. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. What if someone was like, hey, man, good win, but that's the only win you're going to get all year? Well, that would be a lie. That would be a big lie. But I could see that you're a Ravens fan. So, I mean, what matters is that we beat you guys week 1 last year, made you guys look silly on national television. So, yeah, that was good. Johnson and Abdullah had too much speed out there. Yeah, Abdullah really looked good. I'm a big fan of Amir Abdullah, not because of how shifty he is, but because of how much he offers on special teams. He's a very good special teams player. I hope he has a good chance of making the roster. Big Bam looked good on some of the plays I noticed. In my opinion, when I saw Bam Olaseni out there, I saw a guy that can really, really be exposed by a speed rusher and can really, really be exposed by a rusher with a lot of finesse. I think that right now what Bam has going for him is a lot of power and a lot of strength, but his kick slide was really slow. His get off and getting out of his stance was really, really slow. I hope this is stuff that all changes in the near future, but it did look very damn slow and it did not look up to the speed of the NFL game. Now, he does have extremely, extremely high strength. Wingspan is insane, so he can get away in certain scenarios with lacking on speed. But once you get to the top pass rushers, they're going to expose that. Now, in my opinion, I'm not sure how much we can wait on Bam Olaseni to develop because Bam Olaseni is 26 going on 27 years old, and he's only a rookie. So it's going to be very, very slim on what happens there. I hope Bam Olaseni can really go out there and prove everybody wrong and his critics wrong and all that kind of stuff, but it's going to be a tough road, tough roads. Thoughts on if we sign players after today? If we do sign guys, I think it'll be closer to the first deadline. Now, something that I do want you guys to know is there is a deadline coming up with this first game now in the books, August 14th. August 14th is what you guys need to remember. August 14th is the day that the roster gets cut down. It's the first set of roster cuts. Only 5 guys, but roster does get cut down from 90 players to 85 players. And then from there, it really gets serious. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It is somewhat, it's about 10 days from now. So it'll be interesting to see who is those first 5 guys. that do get cut. Obviously, it'll be sad for those guys. You never want to see anybody lose their job, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the near future. That linebacker, number 59, we just signed, looked good though. Number 59, was that the one that led up the touchdown on the end on the wheel route with the running back? He looked okay. Our running back depth looks really good. Yeah, sadly, our running back depth looks too good. Not all these guys are going to make the roster. They can't. So that's a great problem to have when your running back depth just looks too deep and too good. That's a wonderful problem to have, man. Yes, I agree on pass plays, but the run game, he was pushing our guys out of the way. Yeah, maybe like I said, I watched the game. I will need a double check on that before I, start giving players like these really, really harsh ratings and critiquing them super hard. But we'll see. We'll see. Van Valkenburg, Oakland fan. Yes, my guy. Van Valkenburg looked pretty damn good. He was setting the edge very, very well. Physical, did not let guys really break contain, and I really like that. I really like that about Van Valkenburg. I believe he is from, what is it? Is it Missouri or is it Iowa? One of the two. But he was also signed as a free agent, had a lot of production there in college as an edge rusher. So, again, another guy that's going to be a good player for camp, going to serve a lot of competition, but it is going to be pretty damn hard for him to make the roster. It's going to be a very big uphill battle. Kyle Pecco hold his ground. Yes, he definitely held his ground. I like Kyle Pecco. I like what he brings to the table. He definitely had a play where he got sat on his ass in the first quarter, I believe. So that was interesting. Were you surprised about Jacobs got most playing times? Maybe some of us from the nation shouldn't be blaming him for always getting injured. He didn't need to play. We know how special he is. In my opinion, I disagree with that one, Anthony. We definitely know how we definitely know how special he is, but we also can't act like he didn't come off statistically statistically the worst year of his career. So I wouldn't say that he doesn't really have anything to prove, and we know what he has. It's a new regime, and at the end of the day, if the new regime wants you out there, you go out there. And that's how I believe. That's really, really what I believe. Do we know that Josh Jacobs is special? Absolutely, but he had more fumbles than ever last year. He had less yards than ever last year. So Josh Jacobs getting reps, I liked it. I loved it. He set the tone. He did very, very good. I like Josh Jacobs getting those reps. Thank goodness nobody got hurt or nobody seriously got injured with that. And I know maybe that's a concern for most fans, but with running backs, I like the fact that he played a lot in the first quarter. I definitely feel like he set the tone for the rest of the game, and that's what running backs do. They're tone setters. So I like that. I like that a lot. On top of that, he's on a contract year. I think even he's going to want to play. I like Darian Butler, but he needs to break down on the tackle. Yes, Darian Butler had about one play where he kind of whiffed, but the rest of the time, man, he was very, very good, very solid. Kuntz played good. Kuntz had a lot of pressures today, man. He was really getting after it, really getting a lot of pressures, and I think he's ready to step up, maybe a little bit premature, but with Kyler Fackrell going out, I don't think there's going to be that big of a drop-off between Kyler Fackrell and what we have in Malcolm Kuntz. Personally, I think that Malcolm Kuntz is going to be a very, very good, talented player. That one-arm stab, man, it is a signature move for him, bro. McDaniels said he wants all his backs to play preseason. Yeah, he just said in the press conference that we just watched, for those of you guys who are just coming over from that, yeah, Josh McDaniels literally said that he likes all of his running backs getting touches in the preseason. So, yeah. Who surprised you first preseason game? Definitely Bryce Cosby. I liked him as an undrafted free agent signing. I did not expect him to do that well in coverage. I'm going to be honest. I knew that he was versatile in the sense that he could play slot corner, play free safety, play strong safety. But I didn't expect him to do it at that high of a level. Bryce Cosby definitely had a fantastic preseason game. One of my favorites, one of my standouts. On defense, definitely a standout in general. I really like how Bryce Cosby played. I just hate that number 44 on the DB, but it's preseason. He'll get a new number very, very soon, man. Andy, do you think we deal Drake or Josh to another team since our running back room is so stacked? I don't think so, especially now with this scheme ran by Josh McDaniels. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. for a guy to get traded. I don't see many teams trading for running backs. On top of that, you got to go out there and you really got to keep a lot of those guys, man. There's a lot of injuries that happen in that room, so I don't think anybody gets dealt. Number 24 is Scary Man. I'm really hoping he turns it around. He has the season we need him to have. Yeah, I hope Jonathan Abram turns it around. He did play a little bit. I believe he got a tackle in the first half, but there's a lot more games to come. Thankfully, we have 3 more instead of just 2 more. We got 3 more, so this is a very, very good time to try and get the jitters out and really get out there rolling. Lester Cotton, I will say this, man. Lester Cotton has definitely impressed 100%. I did not believe the hype with Lester Cotton. I'll be honest with you. I thought that there was no way, shape, or form that a guy that had been cut 4 times by the team is now getting starting reps. But I love the fact when I eat my words in this scenario, right? This is a guy that's worked his ass off. He's gotten to the starting lineup, and tonight, to me, he proved it, right? He was a bully. He was shouting in guys' faces. He was throwing guys to the ground. He was making lanes for Josh Jacobs to have a 20-plus yard run. I love that, man. I absolutely love that. Lester Cotton definitely impressed. Jarrett Stidham definitely impressed. I was talking about that earlier, man. Pocket presence by Jarrett Stidham was very, very good, I must say. Let's see. I'm a little bit worried about some of our big name players on the field so early in preseason game, but it's all about getting live reps. Prayers we stay healthy, 100%, Brandon. But at the end of the day, the guys that did play outside of Jacobs, I mean, not too many of the guys played too much. They played a series and then they dipped, right? So we'll see. Drake is one of the fastest players in the league. Kenyon Drake. We'll see. Do roster cuts start after the next game? When is the date of next game? Because roster cuts begin on the 14th, which is 10 days from now. So I think roster cuts is the day before. So I think roster cuts is the day before. Stidham will be the backup quarterback calling it now. I wouldn't be surprised. We traded a 6th-round pick for Stidham and a 7th. So I would not be surprised if Stidham ended up being the backup quarterback. I definitely think that it wasn't what I expected. I 100% thought that Nick Mullins was going to win that job. But in my opinion, you go with the best guy available at every position. So I'd 100% go with Stidham if he keeps playing how he did and Mullins keeps playing how he did today. We do it. Andy, seeing how deep and good this running game is, we have yet to see our explosive passing offense, weapons. Do see how dangerous this offense can be on the air and the ground. Yeah, it's pretty fucking insane, right? How potent this offense was. And without those few big catches by Tyron Johnson, we didn't really see too much out of the passing game downfield. But we saw how easy it was for us to move the ball. So when you add Hunter to the mix, when you put Colton Miller out there, right? When you put Waller out there, when you put Devontae out there, this offense is a completely different offense, right? Tyron Johnson no longer has to get that target, right? Tyron Johnson can be a role player. He could be that field stretcher. He doesn't have to be that number 1 like he was today. I will say this, though. I was hoping for a bigger game from a guy like Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins was getting a lot of praise and a lot of attention from the media coming out of practice and camp. So I would love to see a guy like Mac Hollins maybe in the next game have a bigger role in the red zone because we had 3 red zone trips in our first 3 tries and we only got 1 touchdown, right? So I would have liked to see maybe a guy like Mac Hollins get more involved with that because we want to make those 3 red zone trips and only 1 touchdown. We want to make that 3 red zone trips 3 touchdowns, right? And if Mac Hollins can be of service to us in the red zone exclusively, well, let's use him there. That's how I think so. Let's see. The play calling was fire. It was very, very good. It was very, very good. I think every play call was on time. I think that the plays that you see didn't work was because of certain individuals not executing properly. I definitely think that the play calling was the right situation, the right time. I don't think anything was conservative or too aggressive. I thought it was a perfect mix. And at the end of the day, it's just preseason. So we didn't even see McDaniels really throw out there what he wanted to throw out there, right? But I will say this: props to Patrick Graham on the defensive side of the ball, getting his guys ready, man, because we know that Doug Peterson tried to say, oh, we're going to play it very vanilla. We're going to keep it simple. But then he goes out there, tries to run a few end arounds, tries to run a few reverses. And I think the biggest gain they got on it was 7.5 yards. So shout out to the defense for really being prepared, coached well. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can get these 2 penalties into 0 penalties. But we'll see very, very shortly. I like the discipline, though. I really, really like the discipline that we're seeing from this team. I think last year we had much more penalties in our first preseason game. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Who the fuck is Zeus? Zeus is Zamir White. Zamir White is our rookie out of Georgia. He's our running back. He's number 35 that you saw. So yeah, Zeus is our running back. That's his nickname. Team looked very well coached, 100%. 100%. But I mean, if you remember, right, just a few days ago when Coach McDaniels was speaking to the media, the biggest thing he said, right, you can't win until you learn how not to lose. So I feel like penalties is losing plays. I feel like penalties put you behind the 8 ball. And when you learn how to not create those penalties in bad situations, you put yourself in a better situation to win. And I think today we definitely were the better team overall, but we were also the better team on the penalty margin. So I think that also directly reflects on practice and coaching and what we've been stressing in camp. So I like to see all of this kind of stuff. And I like to see it come full circle, right? I like to see it all come full circle, man. This team got a facelift 100%. 100% from the front office down. This is a new franchise, basically, man. It feels like our new time. This really feels like our first year in Vegas. This really feels like a team that's really set out to win, man. When's the film studies coming? Hopefully in the near future, hopefully by this weekend. I'm going to be honest. Hopefully I can get a hold of this film and we'll get after the film study. I do think that it will be on Alex Leatherwood if I can get a hold of this, because I do really want to look at that. But until this next game, if I can get a hold of this film, you guys will probably see at least 2 film studies before then, which is unusual. I only do about 1 a week, but yeah, boosting with E, expect at least 2 if I can get my hands on him, man. Let's see, Waters, the new Ragus. Yeah, well, he had a good game. The first two plays, I believe, were negative, but after that, it was straight positive, man. How do you think? Let's see. Andy, who do you think is going to get cut by watching today's game? Pretty hard to judge coming off of 1 game, but if I had to give 5 guys to get cut, I'd have to say Bam Olaseni. It sucks. I really want him to win and prosper. Obviously, I can't say Parker, but Bam Olaseni for sure. Bam Olaseni for sure. It just did not look good today, man. I don't think that Petco looked bad. Who else? I mean, I don't know. It's too early. Too early. Who stood out today? Definitely Bryce Cosby on defense stood out to me the most. On offense, I'd have to give it to Zamir White. The man just went out there, ran hard, did his assignment. It was amazing, man. It was amazing. And honestly, who stood out on the offensive line had to be Lester Cotton. And shout out to my guy Omar. He says, I'm worried about our front line on defense. The defensive tackles definitely could get more reps, man. And shout out to Omar, man, member of the channel. If you want to become a member and get a bunch of perks, right here's how you could do it. Join the membership. That's how you can do it, man. Kendall Vickers had a solid game getting back there. I believe he had a sack today, right? So shout out to Kendall Vickers, or he had at least half a sack. I know he was in on one of them, but we'll see. It says if Tyron Johnson and Carr get some chemistry, this offense will be unstoppable. I think that's another thing, right? Shout out to my guy Jose. I think that's another thing. Tyron Johnson, from what we've heard, has been running a lot with the number ones. So his chemistry with Derek Carr could be a little bit better. could be a little bit better than what his chemistry was with Chase Garbers and Stidham and Nick Mullins, which was the quarterbacks that he was catching passes from. Now, that's not giving him an excuse for dropping passes, but it is a little bit different of an adjustment. So, yeah. Why you want Keelan Cole cut? He got hurt. Give him some time to develop. Unfortunately, we're not in the business to be giving players time to develop when we have DC only on a 3-year extension, when we have Renfro on a 2-year extension, when we have Devontae now, we have Jacobs in his last year, we have Kenyon Drake in his last year, we have Darren Waller in a contract situation. We're not really in a situation to be letting guys develop, right? That's not really what we're into right now. We're into winning games. We're in win now mode. Exactly. So I think that if you can get rid of somebody, either upgrade or when you get rid of them, it doesn't hurt the roster, then you do it. Drake was a disappointment. It does. I will agree with that today. But, he had an injury. He was also coming back from one. So Parker was playing left tackle. He was, and he did not look good. Screw T. Billy. Definitely not screw T. Billy. He also had a couple of good catches. But, yeah, I mean, I think that, first game with the lights on, he definitely got some drop issues today. And if we see that again next game, well, it's a problem. But I wouldn't take to it too much. I think that Parker's situation, I wouldn't take to it too much either. It did not look good from Parker, but from what we know, that's not what he's been practicing recently. So for all we know, they could have asked him to play left tackle today, and that's not what he's been practicing the whole time. So we'll see what happens. Facts. Raider Nation 510. Gillespie looks improved. Gillespie was out there head hunting. Gillespie was out there making good tackles. Gillespie looked like a safety with decent range back there. So I like what I saw from Gillespie. He's definitely one of my fan favorites. I loved the pickup when we got him in the draft. I don't know why we got him in the draft because I felt like we didn't need him. But now we're in a situation where we can use a free safety, and I think that he could provide a free safety, strong safety, or slot look. So I like Gillespie a lot. Get Tevin Jenkins or Williams. Unfortunately, Tevin Jenkins is a right tackle. So is Darrell Williams. So that doesn't really solve that problem. I know what you mean. Yeah, you can go that route. I think Fuller runs better routes. Is just as fast as who? As Keelan Cole? The problem with Fuller, regardless on who you want him to replace, the problem with Fuller is PEDs and injury history. So he's not really going to be on the field, and he's not really going to be available or helpful to our team. T. Billy had a nice sideline grab. He had an okay game. Did that Paolo guy play at all? Yeah, he dropped an interception on a tip drill, tipped up by Chris Jones, I believe. That was him, number 40. He could have had that chance. It would have been nice to have that. Isaiah Polamau debut would have been dope to see him get an interception. But at the end of the day, he's a safety. It's going to be tough for him to make the roster. But I would like to see more of Isaiah Polamau, in my opinion. Let's see. Got work at 6 a.m. I'm out. Players, have a good night. Raider Nation. Yee! Shout out to my guy, Eric, man. Get some rest. And hope you have a good Friday, man, at work. Blessings to you, my brother. Andy, how did Leatherwood do, my guy? I was actually I was pleasantly surprised. For sure. Pleasantly surprised at how he played. Looked solid, looked comfortable. My statement that I made earlier on in the offseason about a week ago, where I said that he looked slightly checked out, I will admit, I will eat my words on that. He did not look checked out today. He looked ready to go. And he had a good job. He had a good game. I mean, offense looked solid, big dog, for sure. Will be tough call between Polamau or Cosby. It will be a tough call. I mean, Cosby, in my opinion, showed better, but I also don't think that Polamau was put in the same position as Cosby. Cosby was put more in the box. Cosby was put on the slot receiver to make those plays. They had Polamau almost exclusively on the back end, making sure nothing went over the top. And to his credit, nothing did go over the top. But Cosby was lower and closer to the ball, so he was able to make those plays. But Polamau, Cosby, hopefully one of those guys can make the roster, and hopefully the other one can make the practice squad. Let's see. I think Leatherwood looked really good on run plays. That's what Leatherwood's known for. So I hope that he can continue developing as a pass protector, because that's what this league is turning into, man. Let's see. Lester Cotton looked nice. Team looked well coached for sure. When working in the Bay 3, oh holy shit, bro. You got about 5 hours, man, and you got to be at work, bro. Shout out to my guy Vic Sacramento, man. That's tough. That's tough. 3 a.m. I don't thankfully for me, I don't got to wake up until fucking like 7, bro. So yeah. Parker's weak as fuck again. Much like with the other guys in the Tyron Johnson situation, this is the first game. We can definitely judge guys, but we cannot write them off. Like, first game, there's going to be some hiccups. What I will say, though, is that with Parker, his hiccups, in my opinion, were pretty fucking big. Tyron Johnson's hiccups, his drops were pretty fucking big, and they do need to get addressed. And if they don't, well, then that's a problem. But right now, I don't write it as a problem. I think right now it's definitely underwhelming, definitely underperformed. But you can fix that. I think that Brandon Parker's situation is a lot harder to fix than Tyron Johnson's. I think that Tyron Johnson will get it fixed. What sucks is that for Parker, we've kind of seen this already. Like, this is a very, 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 very reoccurring issue with Parker. He gets that chance, he fucks it up. He gets that chance, he fucks it up, right? So we've seen this a lot. Now for Tyron Johnson, he's just starting off his career, man. He got cut by the Chargers, came to the Raiders, looked good, made a couple good special teams plays, has had a big camp with us. His career is just starting. But yeah, I mean, Brandon Parker, his story is a little bit different. Like, he's been fucking up. So right now, where he's getting hyped to be getting all these first team reps, that's different, right? You need to play better at that point. But hopefully we'll see that pretty soon. Hopefully we'll see it on the right side, because that's where he's been doing the best, right? Parker allowed 2 sacks, and they were back to back. And then he allowed a lot of pressures. And in the first quarter, he allowed Trayvon Walker, the first overall pick, to really have his way with him. Now, I understand Trayvon Walker out of Georgia, first overall pick. That's a beast, right? Like, that's a plug and play NFL player. But you still got to do your job. Like, I don't care if they put Aaron Donald there. Like, you can't give up 2 back-to-back sacks. You can't do that. You can't. Defense played in 4-3 and 3-4. I have to go back and look at it. Right now, it really looked like they stayed a lot in the nickel in the 4-2-5. I would love to go back, and that's what I will do, and see how many reps we had in that 3-4, because it'll be interesting, man. Drunk man hiccups for Parker, 100% Fluffy, 1000%. Jacobs is fresh and completely healthy. That's a good sign, right? Hopefully we just don't see anybody pop up on injury lists after this game. I think we might see Kenyon Drake as a limited because of his hand. It seemed like he did get banged up again. Hopefully Keelan Cole can pass concussion protocol. But as of right now, it seemed like we left this game somewhat healthy. Prayers up for one of the Jacksonville players. I think he did get knocked up pretty bad. So, yeah, there's that. Those other alignments smell blood with Parker's poor performance. 100% Graham Camp. Shout out to my guy Graham in the building. Graham, I want you to give your honest opinion on your cousin. Honest opinion, leave in the chat. Out of 10, what would you grade Darian Butler's performance? To me, I graded a solid B-, right? Had one little mishap, but the rest of the game, he played fucking good. He made tackles. He did what he had to do. I really liked what he did. Besides that one little hiccup, I would grade him solid B-, man. Parker was playing left tackle. He was. So it was a little bit different from what we've heard coming out of camp, right? Coming out of camp, it was a different story. Parker was up against veteran talent last season, and he let a rookie handle him. He also let Arden Key handle him, and we don't like Arden Key. We don't like Arden Key over here. I'm drunk. The Night Nation, 2 sacks allowed by Parker from a rookie, lame as fuck. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough night. It's a tough night. But let me ask you guys this. Give down below whether you want to do 1 through 10, whether you want to do A through B or whatever, F through A. Give this team's performance a grading. I want to see how you guys grade Josh McDaniels' debut head coaching performance. What would you guys grade it? Whether it's 1 through 10, whether it's F through A, give me a grading performance. For me, on the offensive side of the ball, I would give a B plus. From the defensive side of the ball, I would also give, you know what? On the defensive side of the ball, I give an A minus. And the reason why is because for majority of the game, before we had these fucking bullshit ass, what's it called? What is it called when the game's practically fucking over? They held them to 3 fucking points. They held them to 3 points. I'd give the defense a solid A minus. I'd give the offense a B plus. A plus because we saw a game with less than 5 penalties. All right, I want to see this. Shout out to my guy Graham. He says, I'm never going to give him an A, and he knows that. He needs to break down in tackles, but his coverage was acceptable. I would like for him to have I would like for them to have him closer to the line of scrimmage. I agree. And when we're in our 3-4, Graham, I think you can agree with me. When we're in our 3-4, a little bit more of a physical front, I think he will be closer to the line of scrimmage. And I do want us to see that. I do want us to see that maybe more in the next game where we switch up from fronts. I know it was the Hall of Fame game. They don't want to put so many different fronts. So we kept it pretty damn vanilla with just a 4-2-5, the nickel defense. But I do think that when we go out there in a 3-4 base, I think he'll be closer to the LOS, and I think he'll be just fine. Didn't Gillespie force recover a football? Gillespie had a few good plays, and Gillespie had a forced fumble. That was a really, really good job by Gillespie, man. Really, really good job. Disappointed in the D-line. The D-line definitely could have got better, but we've known that the defensive line or the interior of the defensive line could definitely use a new acquisition or a new face, right? We know we have Linval Joseph still out there on the market. We know that Ndamukong Suh is out on the market. We know that on the outside, losing Facro, we could use a JPP, right? So there's definitely some improvements that could be done to the defensive line, and I think we can afford all of them. So if we need to get one done, let's run it. Let's do it. Philly Sports Talks, what's up? What's good with you, my guy? Yo, Andy, we got to kick some time. Star Wars, my guy, Kane Town. That's a hard pass, but shout out to my guy Kane, man. Really, really showing love, bro. Appreciate you for offering as quick as you did to help out the Planet Raiders, man. That's love, bro. He did lead the team in tackling. Yeah, he was in on a good amount of tackles today, right? I think him and who was just behind him in tackling? Was it Bryce? It might have been Bryce. Linval would be tight. I really like Linval Joseph. I think that he's that savvy, seasoned veteran that could be that mean nose tackle that can occasionally get to the passer. I think that Linval Joseph is a good player if you can't get Ndamukong Suh. That's what I think. Andy, what do you think about signing Kevin King? I mean, you can, but I don't see why it would happen. We have a perfect 10 men, but offense, fuck Parker. Yeah. Let's see. You did lead the team in tackling. That's good. That is good. DC owes Adams a new car. Who saw that? Facts. And that's good. Tomorrow when I'm on with Graf, reviewing and recapping this game with him, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the box score. We'll look at the stats and all that kind of stuff. I like that right there. Did we forget about Phylon? Phylon is also an option if he can pass a physical. So hopefully he can. So yeah, Cosby seemed to be around the ball a lot. Yeah, and he's no stranger to that. He's always been doing that since Ball State. He's a guy, like I've been preaching. Versatility is something that he offers. So we'll see what happens with him. But nonetheless, you guys, we had a phenomenal first performance. Pleased with the coordinators on both sides of the ball. Somewhat pleased with the special teams performance. Daniel Carlson always doing a good job. But yeah, man, this was a quick, brief reaction and review. We also reacted to Josh McDaniels' press conference, his first winning press conference as a Raider. But listen, I'm going to head out. This was a very quick 1 hour live, and I will be back. I will be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. For those of you guys on the West Coast, 7 p.m. Central is 9, East Coast is 10. But as always, you guys, man, we are close. It is almost Friday. I want every single one of you guys on your way out to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got all Raiders content here, man. If you aren't subscribed, you are missing out. And we are less than 100 away from 6,000. We got over 230 of you guys in the building. If 100 of you guys hit that sub button, we hit that goal, man. But as always, man, I love every single one of you guys. Stay safe. Have a blessed day. And I'm out, you guys. Peace.
Just stay locked in from start to finish, bro. Don't overthink anything, bro. We're living in the moment. We put in too much work, bro. Have fun today. Let's go. Bring it up, baby. Let's go. Daddy, on me. Daddy, on me. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Death Star, where our opponent's dreams come to die.